Hello, hello, hello. Ooh, I like that. Hello, and welcome to the Reclaim Your Life podcast with me, Vicky Igbokwe-Ozoagu, your self-first instigator, supporting you to kick start the habit of putting you first. All right, listen. I want us to have a chat about what happens when you stop proving yourself and just show up as you. Hmm. What happens? What happens when you stop proving yourself and show up as you, unfiltered, unedited, unapologetic, just who you are, who you were made to be, who the world needs? What happens? Hmm? All right, this one's personal. Now, listen, as an artistic, ambitious woman, I know you feel the constant pressure to improve your worthiness, to prove you're worthy of the spaces you're in or the ones you want to be in. Whether it's in a meeting at work or presenting, sharing your creative ideas, or even in personal relationships, there's this niggling voice in the back of your head that's always asking, am I enough? First of all, yes, you are. That's the short version. Yeah, could end this right now. But I got more to say. So, what if instead of proving yourself, you gave yourself permission to just be? Oh, I wish I had a sound effects machine right now, right? What if instead of proving yourself, you gave yourself permission to just be? What would life look like for you? What would it look like? Let's talk about that pressure for a second. It's real, right? I can't even lie. I know that I have felt it. And every now and again, I feel it. And it often feels like it's coming from all angles: workplace, social media, family, friends, loved ones, people that you don't even know. And sometimes the most like influential is your own inner critic. Sometimes mine try to be loud and I have to quiet her down. You and I both know we live in a world that often asks you to validate your worth. You're hearing messages like, well, you've got to show them that you deserve to get that gig. You've got to show them that you're talented enough for that project. Well, you've got to demonstrate that you can lead that team. Fill in the blank, fill in the blank. And this pressure can be suffocating. And it makes you think you're always one step away from being found out as not enough. But here's the thing: proving yourself never ends. It never ends. You hit one milestone, and suddenly you're looking for the next way to validate your place. And trust me, it's an exhausting cycle. And it keeps you stuck. It keeps you from showing up fully as you are. So, what if you didn't do that anymore? What if you stopped spending all that energy trying to prove you belong and instead you showed up in the spaces with the belief that you're already worthy of being there? And yes, I've got my neck roll going. What would happen? Let me share with you. One, you'd feel more grounded. Without the need to prove yourself, you get to stand firm in who you are. You're no longer swayed by external expectations or opinions. You trust your presence alone has the value. Why? Because my new saying, you don't bring the value. Oh no, you are the value. Catch that. Okay. Number two, you'd start to take more risks. Think about it. If you weren't constantly worrying about proving yourself, wouldn't you be likely to take bolder, more courageous, creative risks? When you stop worrying about what people think, you give yourself the freedom to experiment, to explore, to play, to try new things, and to be bolder in your choices. And experimenting, exploring, playing, taking risk, I truly believe is an essential part, not just to your creativity, but to your life. Do you know, even to trust someone and open yourself to falling in love is a risk. It is a risk. So when you stop the need to prove yourself, you start to take risks, you open up the space for play. And some amazing and wonderful things, people, places, experiences start to become a part of your life. Number three, you'd connect more deeply. You see, without the mask of trying to impress others, you get to connect on a deeper level with your work, your passions, the people around you, being who you are called to be, irrespective of whoever or whatever you believe in, breeds a deeper, more meaningful connections and relationships. Because don't forget, the secret sauce is being exactly who you are. Now, I know this can feel a little or a lot scary. And you might be thinking, but if I stop proving myself, how will anyone know I'm good enough? Well, here's the truth. You are good enough simply by being you. Yes, I said it. You are good enough by simply being you. Your value isn't something you need to prove. It's something you already possess. You don't bring the value, you are the value. Okay, so now you're asking me, well, how do I start stepping into that truth, Vicky? Well, as you know, I've got you. Here's how. Start small. Pick one area of your life where you can show up as yourself, whether it's speaking more openly in a meeting or not holding back on your creative ideas. Start small, pick one area, and practice showing up as yourself. Secondly, trust yourself in the moments of doubt. When those familiar thoughts of self-doubt creep in, remind yourself that you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You are already enough. And I want you to tell yourself, begone negative thoughts. I am enough. Begone negative thoughts. I am enough. Begone negative thoughts. I am enough. And lastly, celebrate who you are. Celebrate who you are. Celebrate who you are, the energy you bring into spaces, and the way in which you impact people, how you impact people in your life. Don't get me wrong, I love a celebration. So celebrating achievements, awards, yes, that's one thing. But the other bit to that is celebrating who you are. Because that's where you get the deeper, meaningful realization that your value is simply being you. Why? Because you don't bring the value. My dear, you are the value. So here's what I want to leave you with today. You're already enough as you are. You don't bring the value, you are the value. And what would happen if you stopped trying to prove that to others? How much lighter would you feel? How much more free would you be? So, this week, I want you to challenge yourself to take one action where you choose to show up fully as yourself without the pressure to prove anything. And I want you to go ahead and make it happen. I want to celebrate you for being here again, because this is an action of putting you first and taking this time to pour into you. I'd love for you to leave a comment. You can reach out to me in the Instagram DMs, Vicky_Igbokwe, VICKI_IGBOKWE. And also share with a friend. If there's someone you know who is consistently trying to prove themselves and you can see their value, share this episode with them so they can get the transformation that they need also. Listen, if you have not yet done something today that brings some joy into your life, I want you to make a promise to yourself to go and spend some time, even if it's 5 minutes. 5 minutes doing something, experiencing something that brings joy to your life. And as always, I want you to think fierce, be fabulous, and live free spirited. Lots of love.